Hey guys, Livy Vaughn of Livy Vaughn Designs here. If you've been here before, as always, welcome back. And if you're new, welcome to the Livy Vaughn DIY family. On this channel, I cover my husband and I's home renovation journey, where we share some tips and tricks that have helped us that will hopefully help you. Just do it. Yeah. Subscribe. You'll get a ton of notifications. I'm just playing, you won't. But you will see me in your feed. And you know, this is a smaller channel right now. And if you don't subscribe, you may not see me as much unless you search for me. So subscribe so that I show up on your feed when you're ready to hear more about what we have to talk about. Share it with people you know, share it with your family, share it with your friends. And let's just get this whole community going. Let's get this DIY family going, y'all. All right, enough of that. Let's get into this video.
In today's video, we'll be discussing how we seeded the lawn with grass. In part 1, we prepared our soil by removing ivy. In today's video, part 2, we'll be discussing how we laid our grass seed, which first starts with laying topsoil down. Okay, so this wasn't something I entirely knew about before I got my hands on it and did this project, but topsoil is really just dirt that's really dense and rich in organic nutrients. So this is all that good food that your seed and your plants and stuff like that, even outside of grass, are really just going to need to thrive and grow. So here you guys are just seeing me use a good old yard rake. This is a metal heavy duty yard rake, not quite the one you would use for raking up leaves, a little bit sturdier than that. And it really helps me to push around the dirt to get a nice even spread so that we have at least 1/4 of an inch thick layer of our topsoil. We just need enough so that our grass seed has enough dirt to grip onto so that it can develop a strong, sturdy root system. So as far as how you can get topsoil, you can either buy it from your local home improvement store in bags, in small bags that you can just handle and throw in your car, or you can buy it in bulk from where we got it from, was a local garden center, and they give it to you in large amounts. We needed about 500 square feet worth of topsoil, so they just loaded up one of their dump trucks and hauled it over to our house, laid it in our driveway, and we were set to go. So we just hauled everything from the front of the driveway to the back. So here I'm just finishing raking across the topsoil so it's at the level we need. So that's not it. We're going back to our rototiller, guys. Remember this? Our good old Sunjo. We need to use this in order to make sure that we incorporate our topsoil into the actual dirt that was in our yard. As you guys may remember, this rototiller is electric powered, so all I had to do was plug it into an outdoor outlet and then plug that into our rototiller at the handles. And we just go at it again, just like last time. Y'all know I could have easily asked my husband to do this for me, but I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I grew up with a mother and a grandmother and grandparents who love to garden, and this rototiller right here was their go-to. Not specifically this one, because this is actually after their time, but you know, they had those old school gas powered ones, and I think they might have had one that wasn't, but I can't verify that. Either way, I was so fascinated, and I felt like I was just like in line with like the legacy of rototilling and gardening. It was cool. So I didn't give him like any time on this, so like that was all me. But look at me go, like okay, I'm done. So though we did our best in the last video to really take out a lot of those roots, sometimes we missed some that were too deep into the soil, and so that's what you saw earlier. We were cutting out some stuff. I'm just finishing up here on the more plateaued area of our yard, and I am done. Hallelujah. Yes, pack up. So this is what one area looked like after we were done rototilling. And this is a deeper look at what the soil looked like. You can see everything is pretty well integrated and broken up, which is great. So next up is time to lay our grass seed. For our lawn, we use Scott's Tall Fescue Mix grass seed, which is a seed that's specific to our region. Here I provided a schematic of how you can figure out which type of grass you would need for your region. For this part, we're going to need our metal rake again, as well as a bale of straw.
I opened the bag and look, it's so blue. Shout out to Garrett's Popcorn. I love this place. I always get the Chicago mix with my caramel and my cheddar popcorn mix. It's so yummy, but today we have nothing inside except for dirt. Great little tins for doing yard work. And if I don't have to spend an extra $1 on stuff, then I won't. AKA like a random bucket that you need just to carry things. So this is about a gallon tin that I'm repurposing. I've used it to hold water, to go water my plants in the front yard. And I'm about to use it to hold this seed instead of buying one of those seed spreaders. You definitely get it, but it is like an extra expense that's kind of unnecessary. A lot of people I know just use their hands. So all right, so we're ready to bring the seed over and start throwing it out. Okay, y'all, so we have an area kind of prepped for some grass seed. I know it looks kind of wet. This area was a bit wet, but that's okay because we're gonna just wet it again once we start watering our seed, which we do immediately after seeding. So we have our tin here, and I really wanted to just focus on a small area so that you guys can see pretty much how much seed you should have down. And it's, you know, some folks say get the spreader because the spreader allows you to have more control. Honestly, it doesn't matter too much if you put too much seed down. I'd rather there be a little too much seed than not enough. So I just have a handful of seed here. Really, I'm just gonna spread it across this area like so. And I'm gonna do another handful and spread it some more. And I'm gonna leave it like that. So I think that for us, we just want to make sure that the seed sticks. We're on a bit of a slope, so we know that we're probably gonna lose some of it. This area right here is not the slope. It is more of a plateau area. And so just so y'all can get a little closer, see what it looks like. But in general, this is how much seed we put down. Okay, this is probably something like you want to go buy. You could be a little bit lighter if you want to. I don't want to have to deal with like reseeding too much. Once this seed pops up and we realize there's like bald spots or you know, the birds ate it. All right, guys, what you're gonna want to do next is just to, you know, rake your seed into the soil a little bit more so that you get a good distribution of seed in the soil and then seed on top of the soil. And this, like I said, will just allow you to get seed that is a little bit deeper in there so that it can hold moisture a little bit better and hopefully, you know, grow for you. And then lastly, you take your straw. You're gonna want to just lay that down so that it covers your seeded area enough so that it can kind of hold some of the seed down there. And sorry y'all, I've been bit up out here. So you just lay this out to hold some of your seed in the area. That might be a little too much. You don't want to do too much because you don't want to really suffocate your seed, your grass from growing up. I mean, it won't that much, but it could, like if you really get too dense with it. And all that hard work you did into trying to seed your grass could just lead to no, sorry, it's mosquitoes, no fruit. So you want probably about something of that density level, maybe a little bit less. Like I said, I'm on a hill, so I just want to add a little bit of extra coverage to make sure that nothing rolls down. And it also helps with water retention, which is great. You won't have to water as much or as often. And the seed is also good for that too. It's made to be better at water retention.
So like magic, we're done, y'all. Well, I wish it was that easy, but you know, we had to do that little example that I showed you across the whole yard, and this is our finished product. I'm pretty pleased. It's pretty covered. And I am just excited to see what pops up out of this. Please do note that Laying the straw down is not a requirement. I did it because I'm on a hill. But if you want to, you can leave it out. And if you think that you're not going to have issues with seed retention, then you'd be good to go. So here I just wanted to make sure you guys had good angled shots of the depth of the straw, as well as just a close-up of what everything looks like together. And the very last step before you see any growth is watering. We used just your standard sprinkler and hooked it up to our hose. We watered our yard about 3 times a day for the first few weeks. Do read the instructions for your grass seed in order to know how to go about your watering process. Well, that's it for this video. Next time we'll cover part 3 on grass growth update.
Thank you guys for watching the video. I hope that it was informative. Let me know if you have any other questions down below in the comments. I'll be sure to answer them. I'm pretty active on here, so don't fret, I will check them. Laying our grass seed down took only 1 day. It wasn't even a full day. It probably took an hour or 2 to do. So it was really quick. The hardest part, as I mentioned in the part 1 video, was just preparing your soil. So this is pretty quick. Guys, major takeaway, don't forget, get your topsoil. For us, we needed a lot of topsoil. I think we were trying to cover about 500 square feet of topsoil, so it was a lot. So instead of just buying the individual bags you can get at your home department stores or your home improvement stores, we ended up going to a local garden center that delivered a huge load of topsoil to us via a dump truck. And they just parked it in our driveway, and we would just scoop and take to the backyard as we needed it.
Again, as always, don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Thanks for stopping by.